Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst Live with me, Christopher McLeod, aka Diagnostic 80, brought to you and featuring Generals Joe's Reborn.com. Justin Bell, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How's it going, Chris? Long time no see.
Long time no see, indeed. Very, very exciting day today.
Definitely.
It's always fun when we get some reveals and stuff in it. Now, a couple of things to kind of preface here. We're going live now because it's like it works for Justin and I right now. This is availability. This is good. But the situation is there's a lot more that's still got to come for Pulse. So I don't really want to. We don't want to dig in too much to your enjoyment of PulseCon today. But we thought let's just go live with the reveal stuff already. They didn't show the renders though, which is a bit of a pain, and I'm keeping an eye on what's going on there. But overall, Justin, how did you feel the show was?
It was good. I mean, it was the Joe section was pretty short. You know, I think in years past, PulseCon has been sort of this extravagant thing, and I think maybe they've gotten some feedback that no, we don't need all that extra stuff and extra fluff or whatever. So I think they streamlined it. In my opinion, maybe they streamlined it a little bit too much. You definitely got the sense that they were kind of chunking through things really quickly and to the point where they forgot to do render reveals. So I kind of wish they'd find some sort of middle ground where, okay, you don't have to stretch it out for an hour, but maybe don't do 20 minutes, you know, maybe find something in between where it gives you some time to breathe, but you're not, it isn't quite so much extra fluff. So, but I mean, overall, the presentation was good. They covered a lot of different areas. It was entertaining for the short amount of time that we had. It was a little disappointing not to get the render reveals. I'm sure we'll get them via social media at some point.
We will,
hopefully sooner than later.
The only disappointment I have for that is that we planned to go like live after this show, so we plan to do that, expecting to be talking about reveals, render reveals, name only reveals, etc. And we can kind of get into a little bit of that name only reveal. We'll probably start with that, like as we're going through the images in a sec. But it's kind of an ambiguous one. It's a bit of a vague one, so it's not like we've got too much to get into. But yeah, I suppose let's just start with the show. Let's get on with it. So get ready, guys. Hold on to your butts. Explosion time. Hang on to your butts.
Can I let go of my butt now, or
no? Keep hold of it.
All right,
you've got to do that in that position the entire
show. All right, you're going to work on my abs anyway. That's good.
Doing core work. Anyway, brilliant stuff. So yeah, there we go. Hasbro PulseCon 2024 has started. It's still going on actually. And
all the good stuff's already come and gone.
Yeah, I mean, all the G.I. Joe stuff.
Garbage like Marvel Legends and Transformers now. It's the good stuff's happened.
The only other thing, though, is the fact that they're making a diorama with Dreadnoks in the cityscape.
That's true.
Hopefully, you'll get. Well, you know, we'll share the image afterwards when it's done. You can just watch it. I don't know why I'm saying like it doesn't. We don't have to show you that. You can go to their video and watch it yourself.
After this, though, after you're done watching us, then you go to Hasbro PulseCon. Yeah,
lots of people. I've noticed lots of people in the comments are saying they miss Emily. And I guarantee you, Emily would have had that on point. Everything would have been like, everything would have been like organized and done right. I feel like I love BMAC, but I feel like he just like that they do not listen to him. And he was telling them off at one point, which is really funny. He was like, guys, I've got to talk. Shut up.
Really stop having fun with that video game.
Amazing stuff. By the way, I will go back and I'll be watching PulseCon from when we've gone live here, because I do like the show in general, and I was kind of listening to the D&D stuff as I was preparing for this one. But anyway, did they say where Emily went? Asks Grizzlehorn. Emily is just busy, Grizzlehorn. She's kind of working across multiple brands, and she is just very busy, so she's not able to do as much as she once was in terms of the on-screen stuff. But that is, Emily's, you know, she's fine. She's still at the company, but she's extremely overworked, I would say. Now, there was a pre-show, Justin, which had us a little bit excited, but then was a little bit of a letdown, wasn't it?
A little bit, yeah. You know, they made it sound like it might be something exciting with some unique reveals, you know, for Pulse Premium members only. So we did hop in there to take a look, and they really didn't show off a whole lot, which, you know, I guess is okay. They probably want to save the meat for the larger crowd. But
right. Massive shout out though to obviously Steve, to Jordan, and of course to Toy Galaxy Dan. But they did reveal some cool stuff on this show, like reveal, but like they showed some cool stuff off. First off, though, they kind of went through the exclusives. They explained what the main show exclusives were going to be, including, of course, Starduster, which will go up later today at 4 p.m. for Pulse Premium members and 5 p.m. for everyone else. I'm definitely going to be getting in on that bad boy.
Oh yeah,
for sure,
absolutely.
And then, of course, the kind of giveaway little kind of competition that they're running, or the giveaways they're running throughout the show. You can get the cast signed script for the Transformers movie, which is pretty amazing.
That's pretty awesome.
And in there, some cheeky HasLabs as well, which is pretty good, including a hiss. Did you get in on this?
I went to the giveaway page and I didn't seem to be able to actually click on any of the things to enter the giveaways. So I don't know if it's a technical issue on my end, but I have not done that yet. But I think we've got until the 15th, so I will probably try again. But I went to the page on HasbroPulse.com and it shows all the different stuff you can enter to win, but I wasn't able to actually enter to win any of it. But
yeah. I didn't actually even bother checking, I don't think. Michael Jean Fleming says, I never got the link for the premium preview. Now, Michael, it sucks. You didn't really miss out on much. But honestly, when it actually first happened, I noticed on the registration page that it said, click here to resend the email if you didn't receive one. And so I did that and got it. And I think it was the same issue for you and the other guys in the chat that we were talking about.
The only reason I got in there at all was because Chris said, click that resend an email link at the bottom, because I didn't get one either after the initial registration. So thanks to him, I went in there and clicked that little resend link.
Thanks to me, you got to watch
Chris.
You got to watch that.
It's always 20 minutes of my time, thanks to Chris. I appreciate that.
I think the highlight for this one, though, was the ROM.
Oh, yeah. ROM looks fantastic.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the Marvel Legends ROM figure, because it technically now does connect to the G.I. Joe universe thanks to the IDW combined universe situation. But I think he looks really good, and obviously he will not have translucent limbs. Obviously,
you say that obviously as if he won't. You're right, but I could see some people kind of being confused about that.
You can clearly see that he grabbed his butt when I told him to. Hold on to your butts.
Steve is following your instructions.
Amazing. And of course the kind of, what they call that, the
neutralizer, I think.
Neutralizer and the analyzer,
something like that, yeah. And I love the blast effects. The blast effects might be translucent red. I don't know if they will be or not, but I really love those blast effects too. I'm finding myself really getting more and more fond of the blast effects when they're done well. I think they can be hit or miss, but I think they really add a lot to the display if you can get a good look.
Definitely agree with that, but I will say they've got to do another fresh run of effects, because we just get the same ones over and over.
Yeah, don't just repurpose the same ones over and over. You got to do some new and different things for sure. Yeah, I do agree with that.
Defo. It's on to Magic the Gathering now, if you're following on the live stream still.
All right, sorry, I'm going to disconnect. Come
on, off you go. Then obviously the main show started, and they started with Jordan Hembrough, and they were doing this thing called Pick the Adventure, which is quite cool, where they talk to Corey and Matt over at Hasbro, who do all of the dios and the photography and all that kind of stuff. There you go, lead photographer Corey, and of course Matt is another photography. Matt is of course shooting the Galaxy. They always do amazing stuff. Now the thing they're doing is this cool little competition where you could vote. At the time, I voted for the Dreadnoks. What did you vote for, Justin?
I voted for G.I. Joe. And I hope nobody made my mistake when you were voting for G.I. Joe and looked in the comments, because don't look there.
Never look at the comments.
Just focus on voting and get the hell out. That's my best advice for you.
We have to, on this show, we have to look at our own comments, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But yeah,
the commenters here are beautiful, fantastic people.
You're all beautiful.
They're not crazy people like on YouTube.
Paul loved this idea. Paul, you would love this idea. You are a toy photographer yourself, aren't you? Of course you are. And of course, as well as the team for the diorama, we got to choose the environment as well. So we could go mountains or city. Once the Dreadnoks were locked in, I had to go city, because I could not work out how they would really work in the mountains, other than the movie, like with the furry bits and stuff. But what did you choose?
I chose city as well. Same reasons. Yeah, I couldn't wrap my head around Road Pig or Naugahyde kind of in the Swiss Alps. That was not working for me. Although Road Pig, with his bare chest and whatever, I could see him kind of squatting around out there in the snow.
But it made sense, and in the city, and of course here is all of the things that were on show, including the Dreadnoks, which won it, and of course Xandar was cheekily revealed early in package, which again I think everyone was aware of and recognized. We knew he was coming, didn't we? Of course, through the render reveals. But no, that was a nice little addition in there, and to throw, Xandar in this also kind of made a bit of sense. The last image I got though was this. This was their progress so far. So obviously you'll be able to see the final thing on the video, after this show. Of course, you'll be able to check that out later. Anyway, always good to see Matt and of course Corey on the Dio stuff. Now,
definitely.
Then we got into the G.I. Joe panel. Jordan led us into this. I've just taken a bunch of images and I'm just scrolling through. Sorry, guys. And of course, it was led by BMAC, Lenny, Tony, and of course, Toy Galaxy Dan Larson. Great lineup of guys on this as well. I do love all of these guys as G.I. Joe brand reps. And Dan has kind of become almost like he's kind of become like the G.I. Joe kind of brand rep guy now, hasn't he?
Kidding. He's like a little mascot there. I love it. I like
the pose he's pulling.
The G.I. Joe mascot. Yeah, he's got the big ass-eating grin on his face. Yeah, he's loving life. He's loving it.
And we're all so jealous, Dan.
We kid because we're insanely jealous of you. Yes,
I'm
exactly.
Green with it. I'm Hulk with envy over here. Anyway, but yeah, they had to rush this show a little bit, which was a bit of a shame. They really were squeezing that stuff into the show. That was
there was not enough time to do what they wanted to do effectively. I feel like I think they hopefully they learned from having too much fluff. Maybe now they've learned from having being too compressed for time. But maybe there was other things. Maybe there, I'm sure everybody's really busy. They probably had to kind of shoehorn this in among all the other work that they're already doing. So, I get it. I just wish they'd let it go a little bit longer, just so we had a chance to really absorb some stuff and actually see some of the other reveals.
I will say as well, I'm still keeping my eye on the kind of just in case the renders show up during the show, which I know they will. I know it's going to happen.
It'll happen eventually. Yeah.
Anyway, they actually this was towards the end of the show, but I thought I'd do it in this order so we would save some of the best things for last, really. But we had the Hall of Fame, which was really cool. They started this new Hall of Fame thing. They inducted Stan Winston in, which was great. Obviously, one of the person to probably blame for this whole G.I. Joe situation in the first place.
Essentially the inventor of the action figure, if the stories are true, which we have no reason to doubt them. He kind of pitched the original 12-inch G.I. Joe to Hasbro using a little artist mannequin and some clothes, and the rest is sort of history. Up until that point, they were mostly dolls, and then that happened, and then they became action figures. So he's the father of this whole industry. So
he's rightfully grandfather of this industry.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine people saying, well, what about Larry Hama? What about the Hassenfeld brothers? What about this guy or Don Levine or that guy?
All legends in their own way.
They are, and I'm sure. I mean, this Hall of Fame isn't a one-year thing. It's going to keep on going on, and I'm sure everybody will get their opportunity to have a place in it. But it really does make sense that he's kind of the first initiating member of this Hall of Fame, because he really did kick this whole industry off.
Oh, it looks like there's going to be an update on the diorama they're building.
Oh boy.
I'm just going to keep that open just to kind of see how that goes. Anyway, Hall of Fame inductee, like I said, Stan Winston, of course, fantastic, lovely stuff. And then they obviously went through the list of we could vote for these. This went up a couple of weeks ago, I believe.
Yes.
For the vote. And they had obviously the first ever G.I. Joe kind of lineup choice here, and it seemed to go to Action Soldier. I think I went with the Dress Marines. I think I went with the Marine dress figure for me. What did you choose on yours, by the way?
I did the Action Soldier, just because he was kind of the foundation of the rest of the line, and it just sort of made sense to me as the 1964 kind of first run to go with him.
Got a bit of rope.
Oh, look at that.
And a butt. Did you see the butt?
Yeah, that was nice. Was he holding on to it? I hope he was.
Fantastic. What went wrong in the city? War or Zombies Attack? I'm going to say it's got to be Zombies Attack, hasn't it?
Do Zombies Attack. I want to see some of those mole pod soldiers, or what
mole rats.
Mole rats. There you go. Mole rats.
Yep, you've forgotten. It's been so long.
Oh, no kidding.
Anyway, Action Soldier gets inducted.
That was from Rise of Cobra. I forgot mole rats and went all the way back to 2009 for Rise
mole pods,
whatever they're called.
So Action Soldier, they get inducted into the Hall of Fame, as does in the best of 1982 Snake Eyes, and I did vote for Snake Eyes because
it was the obvious choice. Yeah.
He's the coolest one out of that that lot I get. And I think second was Cobra Commander, they said, which is,
there's a mail away Cobra Commander in 82. I don't think he got retail until 83, but the mail away was in 82. So yeah, it made sense to vote him too.
Totes. And of course, the Vamp got the best classified of the year, and I have to agree with that. I didn't see it on the list when I first chose it. How silly is that? I would have gone with this. I ended up just seeing that my name was on there, McLeod, and I just went with that.
Just went, oh, that's it right there. No, I think I voted for the Vamp. No offense to McLeod, but
no, come on. If I'd have seen the Vamp, I would have definitely voted for it. I've missed it completely. Now, before we move on, I'll move on. Wrath of Cobra did a little PSA, which was quite cute, where a police officer gets disintegrated by Cobra Commander in his tank. And then, of course, they showed the game, and the guys played the demo, which was really fun and quite hilarious, I might add. And it led to pretty much the show losing all
off the rails.
Structure. There was that whole bit where BMAC was like, "Guys, shut up. I need."
Pretty sure he slapped Lenny upside the head.
Amazing. But anyway, yes, Wrath of Cobra will be coming very soon, and I'm really excited for this. Are you excited for this game?
Fun. Oh yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, classic 2D side scroller, straight out of the 80s. What I'm really excited about is sort of all the little Easter eggs. You could tell just by watching them play for that short amount of time that there's going to be a bunch of them in there. Like one of the Cobra troopers had, sort of the familiar symbol laser rifle, and no doubt there's going to be all sorts of cool stuff in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I genuinely cannot wait to play this game. Cannot wait. This is going to be that thing of day one. Yeah. And I might even try and do some sort of playthrough, kind of video playthrough thing, like content thing. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I did it for blimmin' Operation Blackout. I'm sure.
How did that go for you?
That went great. And let's see how Wrath of Cobra fares. Probably, I would imagine, a sight better. I actually enjoyed Operation Blackout, but
I did too.
No replayable value to it whatsoever.
Most of the reason
I'm done.
Enjoyed it was to see those kind of funky comic style interludes that were sort of interesting, and also to kind of see because back then you didn't realize Classified was going to kind of shift into a really retro themed kind of line. So you were kind of looking at, oh, look, there's sci-fi. We might see that in action figure form, or
exactly.
There's the Cobra Bat. Look how cool he looks, but never really got those designs realized. But yeah, I mean, it was fine. It was a video game.
I said this at the time. No, not at the time when Operation Blackout was out and I was doing the video, but shortly afterwards when the movie came out.
Yeah.
But there was concept art in that video game that had to be removed and replaced with an update.
Yes.
That spoiled Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow's costumes from the movie, and nobody noticed.
Yep.
Nobody noticed. Although I did, because the only reason I did was because someone pointed it out to me.
Yeah.
Who shall remain nameless, and I was like, "Holy crap!" And then, took loads of close-ups and images and pictures of it, and then was like, "Right, as soon as this is known, or as soon as the movie comes out, I'm telling everyone this." So I thought that was really funny. Anyway, by the by, Wrath of Cobra coming soon. We don't exactly know when, but hopefully very, very soon. Now, they also talked about Skybound. These are the guys playing the game, and look how invested they are.
They are. Lenny's looking pissed. He's like, "Come on, what are you doing?" He's got the finger pointing and everything. Yeah,
he's so mad he didn't get to play that. That's so funny.
Now, the game, didn't it say coming in 2024? Didn't it? I mean,
it's coming soon.
There's only 3 months left. So
it should have been out. It should have. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. It should have been out Q1 of 2024. But
really? Wow.
Because of the response, it turns out, by the public of wanting the game so bad across platforms, they were going to start the reveal, or the actual game was going to come out on PC and Switch only, and then it was going to be incorporated into Xbox, PlayStation in the future. So they decided, no, we're going to have to come with a full launch across all platforms, and that extended that obviously to this kind of period of time we're in now. So I imagine it's probably going to be dropping very soon, either this or next month, maybe.
Great.
But almost certainly before the end of 2024.
Awesome.
Anyway, that's that. And also, like I said, Skybound was mentioned by BMAC, kind of in passing, really, more than anything else. and they didn't get to do any render reveals, but they did do a name only reveal, which we'll talk about now, Justin, and try and get our heads around this.
Yeah.
Hunt for the mass device.
Yep.
What does that make you think of?
What that kind of makes me think of is similar to sort of Special Mission Cobra Island is perhaps sort of the name of a theme for a new line of exclusives, maybe.
Yeah.
And we know, Target has kind of been one of the destinations for those. I know Walmart is doing their Night Force theme now.
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but Walmart doesn't really seem to have a named theme behind it. I mean, all the figures are Night Force, but I don't think they really have an ongoing brand, so to speak, where Target kind of had, Special Mission Cobra Island. I don't recall. Is there a name for the Tiger Force Python Patrol one, or is it?
The Tiger Force Python Patrol is just Tiger Force and Python Patrol,
okay,
and the same for Night Force. It's just Night Force, and then the villain characters, as they are, don't have any kind of anything. They're just
it's definitely themed, but it's not named as a theme. But this sounds like it could be a theme, so to speak.
I'm personally I've got to say, I think it makes sense because Target have now had Tiger Force and Python Patrol for the longest time.
Yeah,
they've had them for ages, and going into 2025, it sort of makes sense they may change that.
Sure. And they're reaching kind of the end. I mean, there's still some Tiger Force characters left for sure.
Oh, they've got loads of characters they could do. Lifeline for one.
Yeah, Frostbite, Sky Striker. Now that Wild Weasel's coming out for the Rattler has. I mean, like you said, there's a lot of them. They could still sprinkle those into mainline, even if they, kind of stop doing them through Target or whatever. But yeah, I would say it is almost time, I would think, for it to shift into something else.
A lot of people in the comments are kind of tying in the bear paw claw or whatever it was they showed. Yep. SDCC, which I said for a while could be a Snake Eyes polar bear situation.
Definitely.
Like, there were there was heavy hints of Snake Eyes, and I mean that would be a version 1 goggles radiation sort of vibe, wouldn't it? And how cool would that be if they did like some sort of translucent plastic radiation effect or something?
Be very cool, very cool. And I mentioned to you before we started recording, I think we all saw sort of the design schematics for the HasLab version of Baroness and how below all that flight gear, it's the standard kind of blue uniform with the kind of gridwork collar, and she appeared in the mass device in that uniform. So that's a possibility, perhaps, as something that might not require a whole lot of new tooling, to kind of double dip in that HasLab figure.
I'm doing another check. I'm doing another vibes check on socials for those render reveals. Nothing yet, it appears, but that doesn't mean it's not out there already. Tony's going to be posting those later, Nelson, for that question in the comments. So I think you're right there, mate. I think Baroness Blue costume makes a lot of sense. Snake Eyes polar bear, like that is making more sense now as an animal, not even an animal companion, but like a figure animal pet pack sort of thing.
That'd be crazy. Polar bear is going to be huge.
I mean, if it's anything, if they're doing it to scale to the actual animation. The other thing someone mentioned in there, could it be like an animated series of figures that aren't like necessarily Target, Walmart, or whatever, but could be, like Pulse exclusive, or could just be retail related? That's an option as well, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a little conflicted how I think about that. I mean, I think that'd be cool. I do really enjoy what Super 7 is doing with their animated line, and I think the way that Super 7 sculpts their animated figures really kind of lends itself towards that look, where kind of the hyper detailed classified look and animation designs don't jive quite as much in my mind. I think it could still be cool, but I don't know. I don't know if I need strong hints of animation in my classified. I don't know if that's peanut butter and chocolate necessarily.
I don't think it has to be so like derivative towards animation as much as you're just making figures in the classified series that are, vintage in their design. Like,
exactly.
We've already got the
like retro kind of.
Yeah. I mean, retro. There's a shout. Maybe it appears the Hunt for the Mass Device appears on cards. That'd be freaking cool.
Yeah,
and they do their own card backgrounds.
Like Breaker, who featured pretty heavily in the Mass Device series, but the classified Breaker does not really resemble the retro version of Breaker. I could see them doing something like that. I would have said Stalker if they weren't about to do one already.
Yeah. Ryan says no cell shading. Would you? I would be against cell shading on those figures, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if that would work. I wouldn't want to see cell shading either. I don't think. No.
Anyway, anyway,
I mean,
yeah,
I do like cell shading in general. We say this. I actually got my animated, Spider-Man animated series box set Daredevil this week. I'm a big Daredevil fan, so I buy most of the Legends Daredevil figures, and I just got the Daredevil who's cell shaded, and I actually like that figure a lot. But I think that 90s animation kind of lends itself towards cell shading better than sort of the Sunbow era did. You didn't really see a whole lot of that in Sunbow, so I don't think we need it in our G.I. Joe action figures necessarily.
This is another good shout. Excuse me. Darren says, could be a build a mass device set that comes with figures and a part. I don't think that is completely crazy, but I also feel as well, if they were doing a classified mass device, they'd have to do it. I mean, it would be actually technically massive if it was anything like the animation.
Yeah.
But if they're going to do it, that it isn't to scale and it's just like the 25th anniversary one, I'm pretty sure I don't want to.
I don't know if I'm interested in that necessarily. I mean, the mass device is cool as kind of a, when they did it in the 25th anniversary line, I liked it because they could do it in a way that wasn't huge. But I just, in classified, they'd either have to do it like the size of a HISS tank or larger, which I don't want, or they would just be like some kind of little gimmick that I really wouldn't want either. And maybe some of the figures come with like different components, the different ingredients that power the mass device, but I don't know. I don't think that's really necessary. I think they can just focus on the figures.
If they were to do it the full size, it would be a builder figure, but it would be over 27 waves.
You'd have it's like a three-dimensional jigsaw puzzle. You just got like assemble it.
Anyway, that's too funny. So someone said in the comments that BMAC has actually stated that the render reveals are going to go up on Monday. So thank you for that bit of update. I don't like, personally, doesn't that just excite you for Monday?
I guess, there's something to look forward to for Monday. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't know, but the render reveals are 100%. Kind of what I look forward to most about these streams. Because the render reveals are kind of your first look at these new characters. And granted, I mean, did we got render reveals for Xandar and Leatherneck and Saw Viper and all them. So, I mean, we kind of saw them already. So even though they're available for pre-order and we actually saw them in figure form today, we kind of know what we were getting already, where the render reveals is really the first kind of introduction to how these characters are going to look. So I really look forward to them. It's kind of the first glance at how, what their mindset is around some of these figures. So I think I really look forward to the render reveals.
I might be the only person that's happy about this because it doesn't F with our stream right now.
Well, that's a good point.
I don't have to do any scrambling off camera to get some images up so that we can see them or talk about them. But no, we've got plenty to talk about. Let's face it. I will say, I'm gonna preface this as well by saying that it was underwhelming as a PulseCon for me because I'm so used with PulseCon now. They set the bar so high with like a 2-day setup, and like each brand gets like loads of time. And it was like 30 to 45 minutes last time for each brand, pretty much, I want to say. Like they might not have filled the hour, but there was an hour segment and then there was a break, sort of, and then there was the next thing. So I kind of feel like there was definitely a feeling of, I was kind of expecting like a little bit more kind of detail in the conversation. Because as much as you say in terms of the the kind of compressed aspect of the show, like I feel like you don't get to actually get any decent talk out of it. Everything's rushed. Everything's kind of like spat out real quick, and no one really focuses on any of the design elements. And they kind of were ticking off some of the details, weren't they? But
got some tiny little tidbits from Lenny about some key design things for some of these figures, but and I feel for BMAC. I mean, I know he's got a tough job to kind of keep these things moving, but he was very much like, "Come on, let's go."
And
you can really tell that there was some pressure there to not linger too long and going. Like, I almost forgot that it was actually a 2-day affair at one point, and I thank you for pointing that out, because going from 2 days down to like 3 hours or 4 hours, I mean, that is a dramatic shift.
It's going to be over soon. We're in the middle of the Star Wars bit already. It's going to be done soon. I want to be finished. I want to be finished in good time because I do actually want to watch the Marvel Legends.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Now you're BMAX saying, "Come on, hurry up, stop talking, shut up, let's go."
Come on, we've got to do this. We've got to get on with this, mate. Come on, compress. Tim has actually made a good point here. I assume Lenny's shirt is a hint at Night Force Outback, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it, Tim. Yeah, 100%. There's no doubt we ain't getting there's no doubt we are 100% going to get Outback in the Night Force. Yeah, we are. That's all I'll say on that one, and I think you can trust me when I say that.
Well, think about it. The last time, BMAC at one point wore that Cobra Air Force logo on his shirt, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's the Rattler," and sure enough, there it was. So yeah, you don't just stumble upon a Night Force Outback shirt and wear it without a reason. So
they're also going to reveal next week another HasLab for a Sky Striker, classified Sky Striker based on Dan's shirt.
Dan's shirt, yeah. So you can do the two kind of like flying at each other.
They're going to release every Cobra character in one go, courtesy of Tony's shirt. And BMAC, we're getting another Destro, guys.
Yeah,
so there you go. Amazing. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I've already answered that question about Emily. Yeah, she's just super busy. And she's across multiple brands, so yeah, don't worry, Emily's still there.
She's done such a good job that she's now responsible. That's the way corporate America works. You do a good job, you get more responsibility and no more pay. So
exactly what you've got to do. America is you've got to do a crap job like Justin and I and stay exactly where you are all the time.
I'm at work right now, and here I am. I mean, see, what am
I? Same.
Been on my lunch break since 10:30 this morning. No, just
don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Anyway, yes, so pre-orders 4 p.m. Eastern for Hasbro Pulse Premium members and 5 p.m. for everyone else. Just, again, letting you remember that. Now, we got into Starduster. We got a few images. Now, more images have gone up, like better, cleaner, sexier images have gone up. I've just shared them on Facebook and what have you. But, yeah, I've only got these ones to look at, unfortunately, on the screen because we just didn't have enough time to get everything sorted out. I wanted to go quick as well and compress everything into a short amount of space. But this is kind of fun, isn't it? Like Starduster at a commercial shoot for cereal.
I love it.
How funny is that?
I love it. Yeah, no, that's something that these classified guys, they seem to be able to balance sort of the real world sort of military fun, elements of G.I. Joe with the wackiness very, very well. I think they've walked, like if you take Starduster and just take him out of the whole commercial shoot environment, he looks like he's got a powder blue shirt, but he looks like a pretty cool jetpack trooper that could exist, in the G.I. Joe mythology, and he looks like he kicks some ass. But then you look at these shots and he's a goofy guy in a cereal commercial, kicking a
Valkyrie in the face.
Yeah, I mean it's great, and they're able to do that. I mean they given Shipwreck a hint of chest hair. I mean it's just these little things that really walk that line between hardcore, real world, rah military, and look, we're goofy '80s Sunbow characters.
Yeah.
I think they've really got that down, and that's one of the things I really love about Classified, that they're able to walk that line.
It's a good balance, definitely.
Yeah.
Grizzlehorn says only Stargazer is exclusive, right? Well, his name's Starduster,
right.
But I like that as a typo. But yes, he is. Starduster is the PulseCon exclusive, and the other 4 are regular retail wave figures. As I've been saying the entire time on every episode, by the way. So if you're not paying attention to me, then you'll never know the information, right, Justin?
That's right, man. You're throwing Grizzlehorn right under the bus there, man.
Sorry, Grizzlehorn. I didn't mean to throw you literally under.
If you'd actually been paying attention, Grizzlehorn.
Yeah, for goodness' sake, Grizzlehorn.
Nah,
I'm just kidding. Just Grizzlehorn's getting a lot of shout outs. That's at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
All publicity is good publicity.
We love you, Grizzlehorn.
We love you very much. And of course, this one, I'm sitting on this rock. The really cute thing about the who pays attention to Chris, not I, lol. Thank you, Jeremy. The really cute thing about all right.
I don't know what he said 2 minutes ago. Is this Starduster? I didn't know.
The cereal box has got a crossword puzzle on the back of it.
That's amazing.
Do you think that's a shout out to the 50th anniversary period of time and Mark Webber's time on the brand?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I
wonder if it lines up with those names. We're gonna have to. Who's playing this? Can we play this crossword puzzle? Is my next question.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the real question. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Well, I know at one point they do a shot around the figure. I don't think the resolution is good enough to see if there's actually any clues there or not. Hopefully,
there's no way I can zoom in on this one. If I zoomed in on this one, it would just be like, the other one might be a bit better to look at, but unfortunately. Not for us.
They already said it doesn't actually have any cereal in it, so I'm already calling it a
BS.
Fail
BS,
with a PH.
Terrible, guys.
Did they use that? Is that still hip? Is it still hip to say fail with a PH? I don't know. No,
I'm pretty
I'm
sure.
out.
I'm pretty sure onto a completely different level of slang now, which I tend to use, which is sad, isn't it? I called something mid the other day. Mid. Yeah. What's wrong with
that's
me?
becoming part of my lexicon just because I have a 19 and 15-year-old children in the house.
I don't have. I don't have
I'm
an
used
excuse.
to mid, but I swear, you know, when my daughter comes home from college, I catch like every fourth word she's saying, and just kind of nod along to the
No
rest and
cap.
pretend like I know what she's talking about.
No cap. Anyway, speaking of
You know what I heard? I'm sorry, we're interrupting, but I heard they call hot dogs like what, Grizzies or something. Have you heard that?
No, not heard. That's amazing.
Grizzies. I don't know
As
what
in
that
on the
even means.
grill. As
I
in
guess, yeah. They could grill hot dogs, so they're Grizzies. I don't know. Yeah, it blew my mind. I totally reevaluated my life after I heard that.
How are we not talking about classified right now? This is
I don't know.
ridiculous. Riz
You told me
is
you
another
wanted
one,
to
isn't it?
speed this along, so I decided to divert into Grizzies and
glizzies. People are saying.
glizzies. Okay, see, I'm so out of touch. I don't even get the slang. I don't know right. Glizzies.
We are really showing our age right now on this stream. Have you noticed?
Yeah, absolutely. I show my age every day.
Grizzlehorn was close to having that name, wasn't he?
Glizzlehorn?
Glizzlehorn is what you should change it.
Glizzies for short.
Glizzlehorn. You need to change
I think Starduster might be eating a glizzy there on that picture.
He is. Yeah.
What the hell are we doing?
Amazing stuff.
This isn't live, is it? It's going to edit this out?
This is pre-recorded and then I'll do an edit later. Could you imagine? And we're just like losing it completely. Yeah. Anyway, we've got some nice shots of Starduster as well. And
I like that camo.
Yeah, we've seen this figure a lot, but it's still pretty cool to check out. Here he is zooming around on his turntable.
And we've got a Steel Brigade helmet, or Steel Corps helmet, so you can have your like 50th version of a Steel Corps figure in the line, which I actually like that. I think that's cool.
I know I've got quite a few of those now, which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
And there you can see the crossword puzzle nice and clearly. You can see the crossword puzzle and not make out. There's also ingredients on the side of the box, which is amazing. Another brilliant addition. How many typos do you think will be on the ingredient?
If you can't pronounce it, you can't eat it. That's the rule in the house. Is if you can't pronounce the ingredient, then it's not food.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually,
that's why we all starve.
Anyway, there's your Starduster. He'll be available at 4 p.m. for premiums, and of course 5 p.m. for everyone else. PulseCon exclusive, I should say. And now we have everyone else. So we'll start with Leatherneck. Now we got some nice shots again of Leatherneck in the background there, looking pretty cool. Couldn't really make them out 100%. The figures in the background there, I believe, are Saw Viper and Xandar, or multiple Saw Vipers. I haven't seen that close up yet. But obviously we'll have all the images once the actual pre-orders go up. But yeah, looking pretty cool here. What are your thoughts on Leatherneck, my good man?
He's great. I really love what they've done with Leatherneck. And as usual, they've kind of added some interesting new twists to him. He obviously looks pretty close to his vintage version.
There you go.
He's got removable sunglasses, which is a really cool touch the original didn't have. His hat comes off and he's got a great haircut. I think Lenny said his inspiration was a tough gym teacher look, which is hilarious. They said he's got like a little 5 o'clock shadow kind of on his neck. But, even without sort of those modern touches, you look at the figure and he looks like the, 86 version of Leatherneck, which is really cool.
Yeah, they've nailed
I love that he's got fists. I geek out over removable hands and swappable hands, so I'm thrilled that they gave him the fists.
Look at that haircut, man.
That's gorgeous.
That genuinely looks like my dad circa 1989. Shout out to Dad.
I'm jealous. I couldn't grow that haircut if I wanted to.
Shout out to David McLeod with that. Definitely with that hair as well. That is an absolute beauty. I love it.
Yeah.
Lighten the hair and give him a belly, and that's my dad, says Pastor.
I'm going to tell him you said that.
Amazing stuff. Yeah, we're going to tell your dad that. Yeah, I think I'm feeling this one again. I love the secondary is really good.
And I loved the mustache talk. They kind of broke down the mustache count and how it was. What was it? 85 to 86 was heaviest on the mustaches, and then 93 there was none whatsoever. Yeah,
that's a shame. That is.
Yeah, no kidding.
What was up with
missed
that?
Opportunity. I know 84. I feel like they came back, or 94. I feel like they came back. I know Dial Tone at least.
Was it all tashes? Was it just everyone?
When was that bazooka? I thought that bazooka with the fisherman's uniform, that wasn't 93. Maybe that was 92. I don't know.
That feels like 92 to me.
All right.
That bazooka with the fisherman's gear on.
Leatherneck
it's so funny how Yeah, giraffe pants. It's so funny how a lot of those characters, they almost when they change their versions, could be about 3 or 4 other characters as
Yeah,
well.
no kidding.
Like that bazooka could be Blooming Rakondo
Yep.
easily, you know. But it's funny that happened. Anyway, yeah, Leatherneck looks really good in this shot as well.
Very
With
cool.
all the gear, and then this one too.
Oh yeah.
With no hat, no cap, as I said
Cap.
before. Well, no
I don't know
cover.
what that means still. You said no cap, and I was kind of nodded and said, "Oh yeah, I have no clue what no cap."
Neither do I, mate. Neither do I.
Good.
Anyway, looks good. Then, of course, we got Dial Tone, another Tash classic. This one is probably my favorite of the,
This is
the 4.
Yeah, this is probably my highlight of the wave, just because of what they did with the accessories and stuff. Yeah, I mean it's really cool, you know, and this is almost picture perfect. What Classified does well is they represent the vintage version, so the vintage purists can put it on their shelf and be like, yeah, see, it looks like he did an 86, but they add just enough little twists and turns to appeal to those of us who aren't so married to the vintage version. So the fold out keyboard, you know, in the backpack, and you know, his little listening device, and the fact that his cell phone, he's got this belt holster for his cell phone, you know, like an old dad would have. I love that little tidbit that they mentioned. But then the cell phone also hooks into the top of his rifle. He's just amazing. He's a great figure. You know, Dial Tone is one of those figures to me, and people are gonna like probably freak out, that was just kind of there. He was an okay guy, you know, in 1986. He wasn't a standout to me.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. I figured I would make you angry. But, and then, you know, in the cartoon, you know, he was kind of, I don't know, sitting in a room eating beans out of a can and just kind of like, you know, he was, I don't know. And just Dial Tone was one of those figures that just never resonated with me. And then I see this Classified version and I'm like, this guy is fantastic. It kind of reinvents the character for me. And I end up liking him a lot. So, yeah, it's the sort of stuff Classified's been doing.
I think I had a different experience with Dial Tone because that was one of those ones that was pretty big. He was one of those ones that was pretty big in the Action Force comics.
Yeah, okay.
Like he was one of those characters, like he had a really good there was a fight where he had a fight with some Televipers, which was really neat.
Nice.
And so he like was one of those characters, and they had the figure as well as a kid. So I loved it. The backpack was so cool with the mic. Again, that mic is back and it's pretty dope as well. The listening device, someone's mentioned it here. They said psych out weapon. JB says psych out weapon. Yeah. I think that's something they could reuse if they do a psych out, because I think a psych out's got to happen, especially Tiger Force.
Oh, it seems like a no-brainer, you know. And one thing that's interesting that I find really fascinating about Classified is that we've been conditioned to believe that everything has to be, you know, repurposed, and they have to use existing tooling, and they do a good job of kind of repurposing tooling, but they don't seem to make it shoehorned. Like, I think that was something that the 25th anniversary struggled with a little bit, is that they were so reliant on repaints and using tooling multiple times that some of the figures felt, you know, a little like they sacrificed some of the aesthetics just to reuse a piece of tooling. And Classified doesn't seem to do that. They seem able to leverage existing tooling and new tooling well enough that the characters still feel unique and purposeful with whatever tooling gets reused. So, I mean, it's possible that psych out, I mean, that could certainly be used for psych out. Yeah. But I think they would be able to make it look pretty natural.
Yeah, I agree on that one. He's got to have his elbow friggin' dishes as well, hasn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's some really nice stuff on this Dial Tone. Yeah, you got the phone belt clip. Obviously the phone also goes on the rifle. The listening device is really neat. The little eye which turns.
Oh yeah, the camera. Yeah, on the back of his back. I love, and the little touches, like the fact that the backpack has got like leather kind of wrapping around the bottom of it, just like an extra added texture and detail. And it's, yeah, I mean, it's stuff they don't have to do.
Yeah,
but they do because it's cool and it's fun. You know, even the cell phone and the belt holster. I mean, if they hadn't included that, nobody would have noticed and said anything. But that's just the little bit of extra mile that they go with these figures that really brings them to life and makes them so great.
Something very satisfying about Dial Tone, genuinely, and like that kind of design and everything. And here are a couple more shots. Here he's in the rain. Nice shot there with Leatherneck in the background.
I love the rain effect. I don't know if they actually used moisture to get that effect, or if that's sort of a after image, but it looks fantastic.
It does, doesn't it? It's great. And then, of course, we have him in the. Now, imagine doing this on your laptop and with your phone by the side in the rain.
I hope he's got some rice with him to put his phone in after it gets soaking wet.
We'd have to do the live stream in the rain and see if we can do the same thing. But no, it's great. And yeah, he has got like an Atari 2600 going on there as well.
This man is playing Galaga.
We've got some images have come through. So all the images are coming through now, like the what do you call it? The like the product images and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's cool. We'll be I'll share those later after the stream. And not rice, cereal, says Pass. Good thinking.
Hey, there you go.
Just jam all of his stuff.
Starduster cereal.
Yeah, just jam all of his stuff in his Starduster cereal box. Done. Right, then we get Xandar, which again is another beauty for me.
He is.
This is so cool, and the fact they've kept that, even though they've updated him in terms of that like covering over his body.
Yeah,
they said there's the scar kind of like tattoos are underneath.
Yep,
and everything. I can't wait to see that on the images. Honestly,
I know. Yeah, I love. And again, I don't want to beat a dead horse as far as what Classified does well, but giving him the extra vest is a great touch. I mean, for folks that are a little bit more into hardcore military and can't get their heads around some guy with orange hair and a bare chest, fighting special forces troopers. At least Xandar's got a new vest secondary now that makes him look a little bit more combat ready.
Yeah.
But as Lenny said, you can use a little hot water, take the vest off, and he's got the chest echo that the vintage version does. So you're not really losing anything. You're only gaining things. So people who really want him to look more vintage can remove that vest. And they mentioned that they kind of toned down the blue a little bit. He was pretty bright blue in some spots in the old vintage version, and they kind of muted that a little bit. And I think that's great. I don't mind bright colors. I think they can be nice. They can be well done if they're used appropriately. But Xandar looks really good, and I love the additional demon skulls on his armor. And it's interesting. It's an interesting choice because I think Zorana and Zartan and Xandar were all pretty unique in the vintage days. It tied them together. They've all had the same shoulder pads. It's really kind of linked them together, and they're obviously changing that up here. But I think that's fine. I think it looks good.
I like the fact that the face paint also goes down the neck as well.
Yeah, kind of that's a great touch. And he's got that section of Zorana's shirt kind of wrapped around his neck, and I think it's cool. He's a great looking figure. Xandar has always been one of those sneaky cool figures that I really liked. It was one of those guys that I'm assuming Larry Hama did his file card and kind of how forgettable he is. He can kind of hide in the back of a room and nobody sees him, and they forget about him the moment he leaves the room. Just kind of gives him a really sort of unique personality. And I know Zorana got a lot of the pub back in the Marvel Comics days. She kind of became a de facto Cobra leader for a time there at the end. But to me, it was all about Xandar. I really loved Xandar a lot, and he was one of the more unheralded characters, and I think they did a really good job with him.
He's also got a neck scar, apparently, according to a lot of people in the
a scar, really?
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I haven't seen that yet. So I think that might have just been because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I don't remember them saying that either.
Anyway, I love the quilted backpack as well. I think that's really nice touch.
Looks awesome.
His little knife in the back belt there as well. I think
they called it an axe knife in his other sheath, which I don't know if that's just a knife with sort of an axe handle, but
pretty cool. And then obviously these two shots here as well of him, and of course more to follow as they start coming in. I'm probably just going to wait for him to go up on Pulse and check them then.
Jeremy just sent me a Facebook message with a nice close-up of the scar. It's kind of a horizontal scar around the base of his neck. It looks very cool.
There you go.
Yeah, looks like somebody tried to slit his throat or something, and he
Yikes.
That is awesome. Yeah, thanks for sending that, Jeremy. That's great.
Thanks, Jeremy. Man. That is pretty dope, actually. Yeah, I like that. I like that terrible scar he's got on his face.
I like the fact that he almost got executed by getting his throat slit. Yeah, that's great. No, but it adds something to it. I mean, it's these little things, and I know a lot of people have joked kind of like seems like every classified figure has a scar now. But I think that's a good application of that scar.
Paisano's like, Pat will be so excited about the next scar. And the tattoo on his arm as well.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to be so happy about the tattoos. Anyway.
Is Pat anti-tattoo?
He can't stand all the tattoos that keep coming on. on all the figures.
I hope he doesn't walk around in public these days, then, because that's going to drive him a little nutty.
I think it's more the fact that he feels like some of the characters, it was like special that they had tattoos, and then now everyone has them, sort of thing. It's not as special.
Got it.
Patoos. That's quite funny.
Patoos.
That's quite funny. Anyway, very cool stuff with Xandar. And then, of course, finally we get the Saw Viper. And I think this is a chunky fella, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is a real chonker. I like this one a lot. Here he is, like attacking Leatherneck with his like Gears of War friggin' chainsaw on a machine gun situation.
Oh yeah, that is freaking awesome. And I love the spark effects and that whole chainsaw thing, the fact that it's removable and he can hold it like one of those motorized steak knives you can use to kind of cut through things. I think that's and you see there's some serious inspiration here from, what is it? Was the Pursuit of Cobra? Was there a Pursuit of Cobra Saw Viper, or was the Collectors Club Saw Viper that was based on kind of the Rise of Cobra or Pursuit of Cobra Destro, like the City Strike Destro or whatever? That was that big bulky Destro figure with all the reinforced armor, and they repainted him into Saw Viper. Definitely seeing some inspiration from that version here with like the big bulky body armor. Which is, I think it was the Collectors Club that actually did that.
Balaclava as well.
But and then the balaclava face. But what's really awesome, according to Lenny, is that the armor is kind of removable. Like you can dress him down a little bit, change him up. So if you end up with a bunch of different Saw Vipers, you can customize them a little bit, make them look a little bit different, probably similar to Tripwire, who comes with that loser robot named McLeod.
Oh, get out.
But you can, take the armor off and change up his look a little bit and make him look a little bit more streamlined, I guess. So I could see people who are like big fans of the vintage version may not like it a whole lot, but honestly, to me, the Saw Viper character has been bigger than, I've never been a huge fan of the vintage Saw Viper. He was very skinny, he had a big vest, but the limbs and the legs were very skinny. I really like this look, this big bulky kind of armored look. I think it's great.
It's awesome. And like again, that the color looks not like really deep. And when they do these particular product reveals, the colors actually always look a little bit more muted than they actually are in real life. We've seen that ever since day one of live event reveals from Hasbro. So I would expect one to be ever so slightly lighter in its deco, but it still looks really dope. And that removable chainsaw is a cool touch. Very cool.
What did Lenny call, like plum purple? I think he said something like that.
Yeah, definitely plum purple. He said,
And are people really saying bad things about his color scheme? They made him sound like people were complaining about his color scheme, but I mean it looks like he looked back in 1990, so I don't know what the complaints are about.
I don't know. I think when the render went up, maybe, but I didn't see anything at the time. I don't know if that was just because I was hiding from all comments mainly. I tend to hide from any chat, any kind of thing like that isn't on the show. I tend to just be like, not looking at it. Don't look directly at it. You might get blind or whatever. In any case, that's the Saw Viper. There's a shot of the back of the backpack as well, which is pretty cool.
Very cool.
And the actual machine gun. Phenomenal stuff. And then we've got some nicer, clearer shots of Saw. I've actually got loads more now, but a bit too late in the day. And we'll post them, like I said, we'll post them after the stream as well.
I want to get a better look at that pistol. That pistol looks kind of cool, but I can't really tell. It looks a little future laser pistol-y sort of, but I can't really tell from this angle, so I'll have to check that out.
From directly as it's pointing at you,
Yeah, exactly.
But there you go. And there's the motorized hand saw.
The steak knife.
So dope. So dark. This is a dark character. Any character that has a close-up weapon like that.
Well, they even said on the stream that make sure you put Doc on a different shelf. They didn't mention Quick Kick, but Doc, or Breaker for that matter.
Breaker's in there, absolutely. Falcon, technically, although he didn't die at that
Crazy
point.
Legs once we get him from the Dragonfly HasLab.
Yes, I mean there's a few that we want to keep the distance of Benzene, of wherever else there was as well. Forget the name of the other place, but keep them out of that place. And here they are. Here's the all four. And then, like I said,
there's the neck scar right there. Okay, so I see it. Yeah, I
had a picture the whole time of it. That's hilarious. These will be up at 4 p.m. for premium members and 5 p.m. for everybody else on Pulse. And in the case of these four characters, they'll be everywhere because they're retail. standard wave release figures. Of course, it is just Starduster who is going to be only available over this PulseCon period on Pulse. Right. That's it. Now we've just got the leaked listings to talk about. Now I should have greened up Starduster now that he's going to. Well, man, technically he hasn't gone up for pre-order yet, so I don't have to do that. So that'll be on the next one. I'm probably going to do a show tomorrow where we talk about. Well, we're doing the weekly. It's Friday, isn't it? We're doing the weekly tomorrow with Pat. So I'm sure we'll be talking about all of this stuff again, and we'll be greening Starduster. What I mean, Nemesis Immortal. You looking forward to him?
Yeah, man. Ever since they first mentioned him, I'm kind of like, and every time they're going to do one of these shows, I'm like, oh, are we going to see Nemesis Immortal finally? And it just doesn't quite happen. I mean, they've showed him quite a bit in various different areas, but just have not seen an official reveal yet. And I'm dying to see what the whole package looks like. I mean, obviously, we've seen some of the leak shots from some of the items overseas in China, and we've seen some more official shots here and there of his wings and of him himself with his claw feet. Yeah, I am dying to see kind of a more cohesive presentation of Nemesis Immortal. I really want to see what we're getting in for there. That's one of my more highly anticipated figures that we'll hopefully see more about, later on this year.
See more butts.
See more butts. Yeah. Hold on to your see more butts.
I love how these silly jokes always come full circle. Kitty said. Overall, talking about PulseCon quickly, I just wanted to say, I definitely do wish it was kind of like that older format where it's a little bit bigger scale, bit kind of longer segments, and we had a little bit more to talk about. But that does mean, even though we're getting Xandar, Saw Viper, Leatherneck, and Dial Tone from this leak listings 2025 here, and of course the 2025 means in hand. So yes, they're revealed in 2024, but you don't get them until next year. So they'll be obviously, we've got those on deck now, so we'll be able to scratch those off and put them in green as well.
Nice.
By the end of the day, which is
all
nice.
Sorts of green going on.
Where do you think that leaves? I'm looking at Heavy Duty. I'm looking at Law and Order. Obviously, Nemesis Immortal, the Claw, Cobra Viper, Dr. Mindbender, and Rock and Roll for retro. Do you think we're going to see these spread out for the rest of the year now?
Certainly seems that way. Yeah, I know you and I were talking a little bit kind of offline about. I was, after we'd seen all the reveals, I was kind of like, that doesn't seem like a ton, but and I was kind of worried about like, where are we going to see the rest of this stuff? And we kind of talked a little bit about what some of the other 1027 and New York Comic Con and other stuff happening. So I would imagine we'll probably see some of these the rest of the year. I'm hoping that at least a few of these are render revealed on Monday. I don't know how many they're going to have. I know for San Diego Comic Con, they had a ton of render reveals, but I'm not expecting quite that many for Pulse, but I'd love to see at least, 3 or 4 of these maybe. The retro guys feel like they should be, and I'm mixed on the retro guys. I'm not sure how excited I am about all 3 of those retro guys. I kind of want to see what they're doing differently.
Yeah.
But I'm really dying to see like Heavy Duty, Law and Order, Frag Viper. Those are the guys I'm really excited about, kind of checking out. Especially for some reason, I'm really excited about Heavy Duty. I don't know why, but I really want to see.
He's going to come with his giant desk with missiles.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is that really what he's going to come with? Are they going to kind of retool that a little bit for classified? He just seems like one of those characters that they could really mess around with and do some cool stuff with, because there's going to be a couple people that are like, damn it, I want my 1990 Heavy Duty. But for the most part, he's not, he's somebody that you can tweak, I would think, without making people too pissed off. So I could see them doing that, making them a little bit different and changing them up a little bit, and especially in the weapons department. But even if they don't, having a classified scale, like you said, a desk with 2 guns, I mean, that would be pretty badass. So.
Especially considering he's a deluxe figure, like I can't see them like
what if it is like an actual like he comes with a desk and like an office chair and he sits there and then like his handles flip up and he just kind of stands, and that'd be pretty cool.
Actually, Colonel Courage would have to come with a desk because he's the one that's got the old like the tie and everything.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Dope, wouldn't it?
You could always put Colonel Courage in there when fold the desk back down into his desk and toss Heavy Duty out and then sit Colonel Courage down there.
Absolutely.
I think to do a classified Colonel Courage. Can you imagine?
It'd be great.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, that'd be badass. I would love that.
I'm going to say, obviously, with the rest of the year remaining, we've got 1027, But before that, we've got New York Comic Con, and they have mentioned that Hasbro are going to be doing a panel there, and G.I. Joe is going to be part of that. So
definitely going to see some stuff there, I'm sure.
New York Comic Con almost certainly, 10/27 almost certainly, and then there's usually like some kind of end of the year sort of kind of like aspect or like not event necessarily, but there's usually a little drop before the end of the year. There was one random last year, wasn't there? Maybe it was the Vamp that popped up towards the end of the year. No, that came out this year, didn't it? So that would have been, what was the last thing that dropped last year? I've completely forgotten. It was something though. MCM London is another good shout, Jeremy. That's got to happen as well.
Yeah, so, when is MCM London? I don't know. That's
usually in October as well, isn't it? Or has it already been? The one that they did no, I think that is coming. That must be coming soon.
The one they did the mole rats reveal at last year or something like that. Didn't they do the name only reveal for the mole rat? Or
well, that was 2 years ago, I think.
Oh, geez. All right.
Well, maybe even longer than that, because we've had Metalhead and Mutton Junkyard.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Revealed in that time as well at that show. But yeah, there's definitely going to be some. There's definitely going to be some more to spread out for the rest of the year. But I will have to say, as PulseCon, I was expecting way more.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I hate to say disappointed, because I mean I don't want to seem entitled. They don't owe us any of this stuff.
Sure,
but for PulseCon in the past, it seems like we've gotten a lot more juicy tidbits, and maybe we'll get half a dozen render reveals on Monday that would have made it feel like it was a lot more satisfying than it kind of is. But yeah, I think they've got to find that middle ground where it's not a 2-day protracted, long, exhausting event, but at the same time, it's not a 4-hour kind of bang, 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 be quick on the screenshot or you might miss it sort of thing either.
Right. I had loads of time to get the images prepared. I was like, click.
Yeah.
MCM is around about the same time as 10/27 as well. So 25th to 27th October.
So we could get a bunch of reveals in the month of October, and then
possibly
maybe not quite so much. Maybe one more at the drop at the end of the year. Huh?
They have kind of like spread it out a little bit in the past and done nothing towards the end of the year to kind of help catch up. People catch up. But usually, I mean, like I said, there was like a vehicle drop. I'm sure there was. Maybe it was the Ferret. No, that was also 2024, wasn't it? I think. I can't remember. I've lost all notion of when these things have come out. But in any case, we're probably going to get something towards the end of the year as well as.
Yeah, I've got that page on my site that I don't keep it. It's actually kind of drifted a little bit out of date now, and I'm actually getting the hives.
By GeneralJoesReborn.com.
That's right. I've got the hives a little bit because I'm already a little bit behind, and now I've got 5 more that I've got to try to figure out how to get up there. But I do list pre-order dates on that site in some different places, so I could check that.
10/27 was the Vamp. Thank you, Jeremy.
Oh, perfect.
And I've got all of the Leathernecks images now as well, which is great. Someone was asking who those figures are in the background. It looks interesting. Well, obviously one of them has got to be the Saw Viper. But who's that?
Oh yeah, and Darren's sending us some pretty cool pics too. Have you seen some of those coming from
Xandar? Don't know. What are the other pics?
Darren's sharing us some of the actual, product pictures.
Oh yeah.
He's been sending a bunch of those. Yep.
Yeah, he's been sending them to me for the last
the high res stuff is just looking spectacular.
All of these promo images. Yeah. Anyway, brilliant. We'll post those in a second. So lots of stuff to kind of come. I'm not even going to bother showing the graphics for name onlys and digital renders because it's all going to change soon. So Monday, it sounds like I'll be doing a show regarding that, which is great. Tomorrow, Pat and I will be talking about all of this and more from the week. Justin, mate, thank you so much for jumping on and joining me.
Hey, my pleasure, man. This is a blast. I don't always get an opportunity to join you on these things. I'm glad I had a chance to today.
That's great. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow for the weekly, and Justin will be back, hopefully, if there's any movie news, or if you want to just come back and talk classified, mate. You're always more than welcome, of course.
That's great. I appreciate that.
He doesn't mean that. Right then, everyone. Thanks very much for joining us. Go back and continue to enjoy PulseCon, which is still going on. They're in the Marvel Legends now.
You can all let go of your butts now.
And of course, don't forget, 4 p.m. in an hour's time, more or less, for Starduster and the 4 figures revealed today. They'll be up on pre-order for Pulse Premium members. And of course, 5 p.m. for everyone else. So don't forget that. We'll see you on the next one. Justin, thanks very much again, buddy. Stay fresh cheese bags. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3.
Full force!
Laters.
That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/TheFullForce. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well, @TheFullForce Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force!